Hey guys, Brandon here with Exotic Cars 19, bringing you guys another video. You might recognize this car. I'm sitting inside the 2012 Lotus Evora S GP Edition. If you've been subscribed since about last summer, you definitely have seen this in a couple of videos. This car just belongs to my neighbor who is nice enough to let me borrow it and drive it for the day, so long as I give it a good detail at the end of the day. So that video is next on just me detailing this. But I want to do an interesting video. I don't know if you know this, but the Lotus Evora S is apparently can be configured in a 2+0, 2 seats coupe, or a 2+2 coupe with the back seats, just like the Subaru BRZ. And a couple weeks ago I made a video on the practicality of the Subaru BRZ back seats, and actually found myself pretty surprised how I was able to sit back there with the front seat configured to where I could sit up in the front and I could sit in the back as well. I was actually really surprised by that. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. Again, I posted it a couple weeks ago. So this car is a 2012, and I've known my neighbor since he got it in 2012, and I've always been really curious if you could use the back seat. So we're gonna do the same thing I did with the BRZ, except with this car. So like I did in that BRZ, I'm actually gonna try this on the opposite side because I configured the driver's side perfectly for me, and I don't want to mess that up. So we're gonna go ahead and go on the passenger side and see if it's possible to go in the back seat. I wasn't too optimistic with the Subaru BRZ and actually found that it was usable, and I'm really not going to be optimistic with this one. I'm just looking back there and I don't think it's going to work, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, so I'm now sat in the passenger side of the Lotus Evora S. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did with the Subaru BRZ. Pretty much, as a passenger, I won't count the back seats as working unless I could sit in the front seat as well. Otherwise, you only have two people like in the start anyway. So what I'm going to do is do what I did in the Subaru, and I'm going to position myself to be the most optimized for the front and the back seats. So what I mean by that is I'm going to make this kind of scoot as much forward as I'm comfortable with, or not so much comfortable with, but as usable as I could get. So I'm going to put my seatbelt on as if we were ready to get going right now, and I would scoop my seat up as far as I can without me going crazy. So let's see how far I can get up here. Right there is clicked in place, and my knees are resting up here. Because this is the Lotus and I'm even less optimistic, I'm going to go one step further, and we're locked in right there. If I scoot up any more, I'm going to have to spread my knees out so much, and the driver will not be able to shift gears because I will be where 6th gear is, so 5th and 6th gear. So I'm not going to do that. That's kind of my limit right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I have that much room. And if you didn't watch my other video, I'm about 6 foot, and that's my limit. So looking back there, it looks a little bit better now that I scoot up. So let's see if I can get back there. Alright, so before I put the camera back on the tripod, I just want to hand hold the camera and just kind of show you what we're dealing with here. So I went ahead and scoot the front seat up, and from the glove compartment to the seat, I could pretty much hold that with one hand right there. Not a whole lot of room, not the most comfortable. It is a beautiful interior nonetheless, so you would be okay. So anyway, here is the back compartment. I'm a little bit more optimistic because I'm seeing some room here, but still not a whole lot. Yeah, it's definitely the headroom that's going to be the biggest killer here. So here we're just going to go ahead and grab this and pull it forward. So that's probably what we'll do now. And we'll just go as far out, and that actually looks like a pretty good opening. Maybe this might not be as bad as I think. Let's just go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, here we go. The tripod in my way is not going to make it much easier, but let's give it a shot. In fact, I just ran into the tripod. There we go. And I'm cheating a little bit. I took off my shoes. Wow. Okay, that is troublesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to put on my seatbelt here. This is not looking that good. Alright guys, so I'm back here. Now I'm going to have to go ahead and flip the seat to make it official here. Close the door as well. And bringing this back. And it's locked in, and I guess officially I'm in. Let me try to flip the viewfinder here. But yeah, as you can see, there is leg room here. The seat is where I left it, so I can sit in the front seat. And here I am in the back seat. As you can see, this is not the resting position of my neck. Maybe for some people, not me. But now it's getting really hot in here. This pillar doesn't make it too much easier, but yeah, I cannot rest my head at all. I'm either ducking way forward or left or right. I prefer to the left. So I'm actually surprised. The back seat is laid back and I could actually ride like this for a couple of minutes in a complete emergency. You guys could probably see I'm sweating like crazy. I kind of want to open up the door again. But I'm actually back here. I look like a giant. Here's the passenger seat, here's the driver's seat, and here's me with the seats in position to where I could sit in both seats. Now, where this would be a real problem is if someone my size was in the passenger seat, we would be butting heads, as you could see. If there's a child back there, you could actually have 4 people in the Evora S. Once again, guys, I'm surprised. I was surprised with my BRZ because I thought I was going to be able to get there, but not comfortably. Surprisingly, I was actually pretty comfortable. This I didn't expect to get in here at all, and I'm back here. So, yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised, I will be honest. I'm sitting back here. I didn't think I would. And again, guys, that front seat I already configured for myself in a pretty uncomfortable position, but nonetheless, I was able to sit there. So I was able to sit in, obviously, this seat, and here I am. You guys make your call. Think if this is practical. But for me to completely ignore the back seats before, and here I am sitting in them, for an absolute emergency, for a quick drive, it's absolutely possible, and that kind of surprises me. Now I'm sweating. So let's try to get out of here. So I went ahead and just pushed that seat forward. Here we're gonna go ahead and open this. Who would have thought 100 degrees feels nice and cold, actually, with just a couple of minutes inside a car. But yeah, now we just go ahead, step out of here. Again, I didn't have shoes on. And then the back seat. And just to show you guys again, I'll go ahead and get in the front. So I'm back in the front, and this feels much better when you directly compare it to the back. But still, you know, little tight up here, as you can see, just kind of the knees. If I went any further up, I'd have to spread out a little bit more, and that's going to be where 5th gear is. So I wouldn't want to do that. But anyways, how often are you going to have people in the back seat when you own a Lotus Evora? If it's often, you got the wrong car. If it's not often, you got the right car. Because if you're not having anyone back there, we can just go ahead and pull this lever right here, go all the way back, and I have plenty of leg room. My feet are almost all the way straight out at 6 foot, so much better. I love it. And then getting out makes it a little bit easier, but then again, you have this big pillar. Apparently that got fixed with the Evora 400. It's a lot narrower, and actually I sat in the Evora 400 and it was much better. But as it sits, you're probably not gonna have people back there, so how realistic of a test this is, I'm not too sure, but figured it was fun. Did it with the BRZ, now I'm doing it with this. But anyway, really not too much of an informative video. I was actually pretty surprised to even fit back there at all. Wouldn't want to go back there again. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.